I'm so proud of it. When you go to a classical concert, you look in the program, who's coming, who's playing, which symphony. In my case, they don't know, and I don't tell them. They only know when you go to Andre and his orchestra, you will have an evening you will never forget. And that is why we travel the world. I want to touch the hearts of the people.
The soaring strings of Johann Strauss's Blue Danube fill the air as thousands of people rise to their feet in rapturous applause. Lights dance across elaborate chandeliers suspended above a stage, transformed into a Viennese palace. At the center of it all stands a man with silver hair and a violin, a warm smile spreading across his face as he takes in the scene before him. This is André Rieu, the waltz king, the maestro of the masses, a man who has built an empire on bringing classical music to millions in a way that traditionalists might scoff at, but audiences around the world embrace wholeheartedly. Behind this empire is not just the man with the violin, but a family whose story intertwines with the music that has captivated the globe. While rumors and fabricated stories occasionally circulate about the Rieu family, the truth about André and his sons reveals a tale of passion, hard work, and the passing of a musical legacy from one generation to the next. The early years André Léon Marie Nicolas Rieu was born on October 1, 1949, in Maastricht, Netherlands. Music was in his blood from the beginning. His father, Andries Antoni Rieu, conducted the Maastricht Symphony Orchestra. As the third of 6 children, young André was immersed in classical music from an early age. At just 5 years old, André's mother encouraged him to take up the violin, beginning a lifelong love affair with the instrument. However, his relationship with music wasn't always smooth. The strict upbringing by his conductor father created a pressure that would later lead André to forge his own path, one quite different from his father's more traditional approach. "My father was a conductor of a symphony orchestra, and I was trained to be a classical musician," André once explained. "I rebelled against it. I never wanted to play in an orchestra. I wanted to stand in front and play the violin." After studying at the Conservatoire Royal in Liège and the Conservatorium Maastricht from 1968 to 1973, André continued his musical education at the Music Academy in Brussels. There he studied with renowned violinist André Gertler, completing his training with distinction from the Royal Conservatory of Brussels. In 1975, a pivotal moment in his personal life occurred when he married Marjorie Kochman. Their partnership would prove to be more than just a marriage. Marjorie, a language teacher and composer in her own right, would become an integral part of his musical empire. Building a dynasty. The early years of André's career weren't marked by instant success. After a period playing in orchestras, he decided to forge his own path, founding the Johann Strauss Orchestra in 1987 with just 12 members. His vision was clear: to bring joy to people through music, particularly the waltzes of Johann Strauss. "I wanted to bring classical music to the people, not in a very difficult way, but in an entertaining way," André has explained of his mission. What began as a small ensemble would grow into one of the world's largest private orchestras, now comprising over 60 musicians who travel the globe performing to millions. But perhaps more remarkable than the orchestra's growth is how André's musical empire became a true family business. André and Marjorie's sons, Marc and Pierre, grew up in an extraordinary environment. While most children might attend school concerts or piano recitals, the Rieu boys were swept up into a world of international tours, television appearances, and audiences of thousands. "My 3 years older brother and I have been raised fairly free," Pierre once said in an interview. "Although André is a world star, he was always there for us. When my older brother and I were in school, André practiced. And when we returned home, most of the time he was already waiting for us." Despite their unconventional upbringing, André and Marjorie were determined not to push their sons into following their father's footsteps. They believed that passion couldn't be forced, only fostered. 2 sons, 2 paths. As they entered adulthood, Marc and Pierre Rieu faced the choice that all children of famous parents must confront: whether to step into the spotlight created by their parents or forge their own path away from it. Marc Rieu, born on November 1, 1978, chose the latter. While music remained a passion, he plays piano and is described by André as a walking music encyclopedia. Marc pursued a different artistic calling. After studying art history, he became a painter, creating landscapes that, like his father's music, seek to evoke emotion through artistic expression. I would like to take you into my dream world, into my fantasies, translated on the white canvas with oil or acrylic paint, Marc has said of his artistic philosophy. Though he doesn't work in Rieu productions, Marc hasn't shied away from his family name. He exhibits his paintings during his father's concerts in Maastricht, using the platform his family name provides while carving out his own distinct identity. I do not work in the company, which is my choice, Marc explains. But I do make good use of my last name. Pierre Rieu, the younger son, took an entirely different route. Initially, he planned to become a lawyer, but after just 5 weeks of studying law at university, he realized his heart wasn't in it. The excitement of the concert world proved too alluring. If you've only worked once behind the scenes in a concert, you'll always want to be part of this exciting club again, Pierre has said. At just 19 years old, Pierre joined Rieu Productions as what André proudly calls the youngest production manager in the world. Over the years, he has risen through the ranks to become vice president and general manager of Rieu Productions and Rieu Travel. His role encompasses everything visible on stage except the musicians themselves: lighting, equipment, logistics, and managing a crew of over 50 people, plus hiring 60 more locally at each venue. Pierre's meticulous planning has been crucial to the spectacular productions that have become the Rieu trademark. Perhaps his most ambitious project was overseeing the creation of a full-size replica of Vienna's Schönbrunn Castle for the 2008 World Stadium Tour. A technical and logistical feat that demonstrated the scale of André's productions and Pierre's capabilities as a manager. Family bonds. Despite their different career paths, the Rieu family remains incredibly close-knit. The empire that André and Marjorie built has expanded to include Pierre's wife, Ifje, whom he met while working on a DVD production in a Dutch fairy tale park called the Efteling. The couple now has twin daughters, Linda and Lieke, born in 2009. Pierre has embraced fatherhood with the same enthusiasm he brings to his professional life. Every evening, my daughters go to sleep while listening to music, he once shared, describing a music box playing Terra's Theme by Max Steiner that André and Marjorie had made for their granddaughters. André, who lives in a small castle in Maastricht, which he claims was once inhabited by Charles de Bat's Castlemore d'Artagnan, the inspiration for Alexandre Dumas' character, has created a musical dynasty that extends far beyond his own playing. The family business structure has allowed André to maintain complete artistic control over his empire. Marjorie and Pierre and me run the whole thing, André has explained. We have a very small organization around us who organize the hotels and the flights and getting the sets around the world. We don't have a manager overseeing what we do and looking after the money. This close-knit arrangement has helped the Rieu business thrive financially. André's concerts and recordings have made him one of the most commercially successful classical musicians in the world. His tours consistently rank among the highest grossing globally, and his album sales have reached staggering numbers, over 40 million worldwide. Challenges and controversies. Despite their success, the Rieu family has faced challenges along the way. In 2010, André suffered significant financial losses when his replica of Vienna's Schönbrunn Palace proved too costly and logistically complex to transport. The setback nearly bankrupted him, but with the support of his family and his loyal audience, he managed to recover. In 2017, André's production company contested a fine of €116,000 imposed by Dutch authorities after a series of concerts in Maastricht in 2015 allegedly violated child employment laws. The case involved young panpipers who were on stage after 11 p.m., beyond the hours allowed for child performers. André successfully argued that the children were not directly employed by him and were only brought on stage after their performance for curtain calls. The court ultimately sided with Rieu, and the fine was not imposed. The Rieu family has also had to contend with imposters and fraudsters who use their name and image. In a particularly troubling case, someone posing as Georges Rieu, claiming to be an adopted son of André and Marjorie, attempted to scam fans by offering fake meet and greets with André. The real Pierre Rieu has spoken out about these scams, noting that their legal department has taken action and advising victims to report such fraud to the police. Critics within the classical music establishment have often dismissed André's approach, labeling his performances as schmaltz and criticizing him for simplifying complex musical works. But André has never been bothered by such criticism. "I see a lot of jealousy around me," he once remarked. "People say, 'Oh my God, he plays waltzes, and the money is coming in.' But you have to realize it's a lot of hard work too." The Rieu legacy. Today, at 75 years old, André Rieu shows no signs of slowing down. He continues to tour the world with his Johann Strauss Orchestra, bringing joy to millions with his accessible approach to classical music. The empire he has built with Marjorie now employs over 120 people, many of whom have been with him for decades. "Most of them are with me for more than 35 years, André has proudly noted. "So I think they like me as a boss." Pierre continues to oversee the business operations, ensuring that the spectacular productions run smoothly from continent to continent. Meanwhile, Marc pursues his artistic career, with occasional collaborations with his father's organization during the annual Maastricht concerts. Despite the enormous success and wealth that have come from his musical career, André maintains that his greatest achievement is his family. His marriage to Marjorie has lasted for nearly 50 years, a rarity in the entertainment world. Together, they have created not just a successful business, but a legacy that spans generations. "Family is the most important thing in life," André has often said. And it shows in how he has integrated his loved ones into his work and how he speaks about them in interviews. As for the false rumors that occasionally circulate about the Rieu family, including fabricated stories about legal troubles or imprisonment, they are simply part of the price of fame. The truth about André Rieu and his sons is far more interesting. A story of talent, determination, and the power of family bonds in creating something truly extraordinary. When André eventually takes his final bow, his legacy will live on, not just in the millions of records sold or the countless concerts performed, but in the way he transformed classical music into a family affair, both on the stage and behind the scenes. And perhaps most importantly, in how he proved that you can follow your passion, do it your own way, and bring your loved ones along for the journey. The king of the waltz may reign over concert halls around the world, but at home, he's simply André, father, husband, and the patriarch of a remarkable musical dynasty that has touched the hearts of millions.